this video is so important to me and close to my heart. I really want to help you and provide as much value as I can. It will be very valuable for people who are struggling with the same thing, because I know that there are a lot of people who are struggling with the same thing. I had people that I know DMing me asking for this, for help, because they maybe heard that I've dealt with this. And I had just strangers asking me how they can manage this stress. You know, when you get a headache and you're trying to Google all the symptoms, it's a very difficult thing to Google. Like, it's very difficult to describe, to understand what's going on with you while you're in it. I'm here to tell you that you not only can get out of this, but you will. In this video, I'm going to be saying DPDR, so it's easier, but I mean depersonalization and derealization all in one. I want all of my videos to be very soothing, calming to your nervous system, to your mind, and just provide peace of mind. So you're welcome to have a cup of tea, because I brought mint tea with me because it's still kind of chilly outside. First, I'll tell you what it looks like. I'll describe the symptoms of it so you can relate if you have it. You can kind of connect to it and be like, oh, that's me. As you might have noticed, what we experience and what the reality actually is can sometimes differ. So then I will explain what depersonalization and derealization actually is, what this disorder is biologically, the definitions, and why it is happening, what happened to you. A little personal hint, and for all the curious people, also for all the struggling people to relate, I will tell you my story briefly with not too many details, because I don't know if I'm comfortable with it. See that you're not alone, that people go through this. Essentially, what I'm trying to say in this video, there's nothing wrong with you, and I'll help you understand why and how you can help yourself manage this stress and learn and understand this situation so you can provide safety and peace. So let's start from defining a word that is more common. You might have heard dissociation. It's a very normal human process. Your brain regulating itself. It's your brain reacting to something that is overwhelming by disconnecting you from reality for a second. He told me about this experience that's very common among drivers. It's called tunnel. I forgot the name. The highway trance. So basically, when you're driving for a very long time, you don't think about how to drive. You don't have to focus. So your brain just switches to drowning in thoughts, drowning in a different reality that's inside you. So you're basically kind of hypnotized by the road, and you're not thinking. You're kind of not there. You're kind of not in the road. You're in your mind completely. That's a very common, very usual, I'm not going to say normal type of dissociation, because every type of dissociation is normal. Because if you have the more excessive type of dissociation that I'm going to talk about later, it doesn't mean that you're not normal. It just means that you're more dysregulated, and it's a different kind of issue. But I'm just trying to say that dissociation is something that we all go through. Healthy people, dysregulated people, stressed people, everyone. It's a normal human thing. We're going to talk about dissociation that is a response to trauma. So your body reacts in two ways, or in both of them combined. It's depersonalization and derealization. The symptoms overlap a bit. You can just call them dissociation if it's easier for you. But for me to understand what it actually was better to navigate these symptoms and not freak out each time something happens in my mind or in my body, I prefer to call it a certain way. So as the name says, derealization is a detachment from reality. The lens of this physical world is very foggy. It can feel like a dream state, like you're literally dreaming, or like you're in a coma, or like you're dead. You just completely don't feel like you are real. It feels like, what was this Jim Carrey movie? You are in a movie, like you're recorded, like you are playing a role, like you're a sim character. Literally, that's derealization. Like everything that's around you is not real, it's completely fake. It's a play, it's a theater play. Depersonalization is almost the same as derealization, but it's more focused on your body. It's detachment from your identity, from your mind, from your thoughts. It's like you cannot relate to your own thoughts. It's the scariest thing in the world. Can't identify with the voice inside your head because you're something completely unrelated to anything. If you have DPDR, which is derealization and depersonalization combined, it's the scariest combo. It's like you cannot relate to, you cannot identify or connect yourself to anything that's going on around you, because even the voice that is interpreting this reality that you're not connected to, you're also not connected to it. Like no anchors to this physical world. Crazy. And when I say crazy, I don't actually mean crazy, because there's nothing crazy about it. You are just very exhausted, dysregulated, and you need You need grace, you need a hug, you need healing, you need time. Depersonalization can also look like distorted time and space. So you basically can't find yourself stable in time. Everything can feel very slow, everything can feel very fast. You can sometimes just forget about where you're at. You don't know what room you're in. You don't know what city you're in. Sometimes people are completely disconnected, they can't even talk. What I want you to take from this definition is that dissociation, either it's depersonalization or derealization, is your body's innate wisdom, smart survival strategy to help you escape the pain, escape the heaviness of this struggle, because it can be too overwhelming. It's basically your body saying, it's a little bit too much for now, I'm just gonna dip for a second. And that second can be even a few years. I'm not scaring you, I'm just saying, you don't know how much it's going to take. So the easiest approach is to relax into it. Never escape, never try to escape anything, run from anything. Let your body, let your mind, I know you can't identify with them right now. You always have this seed of God presence within you. You are a part of nature. You physically have a purpose here. You can just relax into this feeling, into this fear, relax into whatever is happening. You will be guided out of this, I promise. Dissociation is your body's way of protecting you from feeling this excessive pain through temporary disconnection from reality or your body. There's also examples in nature, like when an antelope is running away from, let's say, a lion. There is this response called fight, flight, or freeze. Either it tries to escape, run away from the lion, or it tries to fight it. And then when it's too much to handle, it just freezes. So 3 basic responses that your body uses to handle excessive discomfort or just overwhelming pain or stress. When it's freeze, it's basically you're just trying not to feel pain. That's why when people are eaten by sharks, they can't feel it because it's too much. Like, you wouldn't be able to survive it, so your body just decides to not feel it. And we're talking about traumatic responses, about mental suffering, about very long periods of unsafety. It can translate into fight, flight, or freeze as well. It can translate into PTSD. Trauma, either mental or physical, is trauma. And PTSD creates a set of symptoms which DPDR is a part of. Let me tell you more of these symptoms of dysregulation. What I've dealt with also was ringing in your ears, just pain in your ears, very, very sharp pain in your ears. Feeling your brain physically, it can almost feel like the only thing that you can identify with is your brain. It doesn't hurt like a headache, but you are in it. It's so weird to explain. Visual snow. You know, on these old TVs, there's this like all these dots with colors, and there's like that thing, like a filter on your entire field of vision. You see the entire world like this, especially when it's dark. It's weird. It's really weird. It can be scary if you don't know what it is, but what I'm here for is to help you understand what it is so we can stop fearing it, because the fear feeds these symptoms, and the more you fear it, the more symptoms you produce, because you are completely in control of the situation. Maybe not completely in control of what is happening to you, but you are in control of managing your reactions and how your body responds later on after you understand what it is. So you will heal. You are in control of healing. Relax. Another thing is difficulty breathing, heaviness in your heart, heart pounding. Sometimes people with DPDR, with PTSD, with all of these things that are trauma responses, they think that they have cancer or brain cancer, brain tumors. They think that something is physically actually wrong with their heart or their brain. I heard stories of people going to doctors like to check their heart, to check their brain, to scan it even, and they couldn't find anything. These situations when you go to a specialist and they tell you that everything is fine, that you are healthy, nothing is wrong with you physically, it scares you even more because it feels like there's no solution to this problem. This entire situation makes you feel like you are the only person. You are this one unique experience which cannot be saved. The scariest scenarios pop up in your head and you just believe them because you're in fear. So don't feed this fear, understand these symptoms. That's why I'm telling you this. Every sense is sharpened. Any noise, you can hear it 10 times more. As I said, it's because of the antelope. Like when the antelope is running away from the lion, she has to hear everything. She has to see everything clearly. Your senses are very sharpened for that specific reason. Wow, these birdies are so whimsical. Another symptom is horrible nightmares, insomnia, or actually increased sleepiness, because you want to sleep through this and not feel it. You're escaping into the dream reality actually, because you are in the dream reality, so all you can do is just cope with it by sleeping. That's what I did. Also just needed it because my body was so exhausted. The only thing I could physically do is sleep. I slept for, I don't know, more than half the day. I slept for 16 hours easily. You could never think that thoughts are a symptom, but excessive thoughts, overthinking, too much philosophical reflections, trying to understand everything is one of the symptoms of dissociation, of this depersonalization derealization disorder. There is a reason for this. Your body is trying to explain to itself why you are in danger. So it's trying to find solutions, it's trying to find evidence, it's trying to find answers. You're going into all of these rabbit holes. You're going into fantasy realities. Sometimes people develop dissociative amnesia, dissociative identity disorders, and DPDR. So basically this entire spectrum of dissociative disorders can be split into three. This happened to me, so it's so difficult to talk about still. You're drowning in fantasy worlds, not in a cutie patootie, I'm just a girl type of way, but actually you're believing miracles in a psychotic way. And I'm not scaring you, there's nothing wrong with you. It's a symptom, it's something that you can heal from. There is nothing innately wrong with you for this. Don't be ashamed. Shame will be there. I was so ashamed of this because my family witnessed it, my friends witnessed it. It was disgusting. But it's a part of the process, and it's difficult. It's difficult. But basically, believing in fantasy realities that you create, going deep into all these scenarios that your body is creating to help itself explain what is going on with you, because it's so difficult to go through, that it needs evidence, it needs an explanation, it needs a narrative, a scenario that would make sense. So you make it make sense. This video is getting very, very long already, but I still want to tell you a little part of my story, what happened to me, and then also fit ways how you can manage this stress, and ways how you can regulate yourself, and how you can slowly heal yourself and overcome this DPDR. As you say, where I gain wisdom from suffering. So my story began when I was freshly 16. I just turned 16. It was a few days after my birthday, so you could say I was 15. A little child. My personality back then was, I wasn't partying or anything. I was in the aesthetic, spiritual, fairy, crystals, incense, healing journey, inner work, tarot, astrology type of a girl. I was a kid who was trying to understand the world in a way that was like in all of these books and fairy tales and cartoons, and I was just trying my best to understand this world at this stage that I was. I don't even regret this thing that happened to me, even though it was the most terrifying thing that happened to me. After my birthday, me and my friend, that same friend from all of these videos that I referred to, that she went to India and then she went to Egypt and she's the best person in the world, and me and my other best friend, we went to Malta together. If you saw that vlog, that friend. We went to her house alone to try for the first time. And all of this obviously happened in GTA, and it's not an actual thing that happened. Just making this up to create a story, you know. And the little wholesome spiritual girlies that we were, we tried the safest way, as we thought it was the safest. Come on, we were 16. It was not the safest way whatsoever. We were alone. The thing is, I wasn't at a party when I tried for the first time. I wasn't at a social gathering with people that I don't know, that I don't trust, anything that could scare me. I was with the safest person on earth after my mom. I was in a quiet, warm place. It was the safest scenario that you can envision. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this situation, if I could change anything in my life, I would have never tried. That's the only thing. The only thing. So basically what we did in GTA, we prepared 1 gram of this plant with chocolate so we could then digest it into our systems, not through smoking, but through eating, because it's a stronger effect, and we thought that it would be a smart decision. The thing is, a whole gram split in half, not measured correctly, could be either 0.8 of that plant straight into my system that never had previous contact with that thing, or a whole gram straight to her. Like we didn't know. We just ate this with spoons, or we ate the chocolate, the melted chocolate with that thing in it. in a bowl in GTA, obviously. We were the meditating type of girls. So an hour passed by, we were trying to wait for the effects. We played binaural beats. We were like sitting in this position, trying to breathe through it and wait for the thing. I was actually excited. I was super excited for this. I was like, ooh, let's see what it is. And she knew what it was. So she was just like guiding me through it. And so it hit her and it hit me. And I wasn't the same since then. What I want to explain is it wasn't just the normal anxiousness that sometimes people feel under the influence of this plant. It wasn't just this little fear of what's going on, you can just ease into the trip. No. In GTA, what happened to me was complete death or something is not right with my receptors, because it's not how a human is supposed to react to anything. It was straight poison for my system, and it left a scar in my system for a while. I think I will still carry this scar with me for a very long time. Anyways, I've been healing since then. It was the most dysregulating event of my life. And then it took me 2 years to regulate myself back into the normal state. That's why every time that people under the age of 20, I can say nothing to people that are 20 because I'm 18, but anytime the people my age are telling me anything about, I just cannot listen to it. I'm just so disappointed. I just really want to help them, but I know that it's not in my control. What they do with their lives is completely their free will. That's the only way I can influence your decisions, just by saying don't do drugs. You really don't need them. There's this trend right now in the spiritual hippie community with taking psychedelics to expand your consciousness. Well, let me tell you, I expanded my consciousness so much that I thought I would never be back. I thought I died. I thought I'd never be able to look at my mom and not think that I'm dead. I thought I was in a coma for 2 years. Totally not worth it. So if you can, please do not take any drugs. You were born to exist and be as a human being, not as this angelic alien creature that you're willing to transform into. Experience this, as you say, 3D reality as it is. Don't overcomplicate things. But if you're in it right now, if it was drug-induced or not, if it was trauma-induced, doesn't matter. You're in it right now. Accept it. Let's go into the ways how you can help yourself manage the stress and pain and understand these symptoms better, regulate your nervous system. The first thing that you need is reassurance. You need to tell your mom, your best friend, everything. Someone needs to know everything, because you're in this state where you don't fully know what's going on. You don't fully realize what's going on. And it's safer for you to have someone who knows everything that you kind of come to, all the realizations, all the explanations that you gave your mind. Tell them to someone so they can manage this for you. Someone who you really, really trust, or if you don't have these people, a therapist. A therapist works. Someone who can just keep an eye for you and just be there for you, truly support you, and calm you down when you need. Second, create safety. You can use body calming techniques, somatic therapy, anything that will create safety within your space, within your mind, anything that will help you soothe your system and make you feel understood and safe. You can also use these reassuring connections. Avoid any dysregulating environments or people. So basically end any connections that cause you to spend too much of your energy just to explain what's going on, just to explain that you're not in the space to explain, Just select everything that holds space for you and is willing to be with you and support you through your healing. You need peace, so create it. I will repeat this always and forever. Explore the topic of regulating your nervous system. It will help you create this peace. Come back to your senses. DPDR can make you feel like you are completely not there. There are specific ways to help you come back to this reality physically for a moment, to come back to your senses. Use cold water. That's why I had the phase with cold plunging. I was really, really desperately trying to come back. You can also just wash your face with ice. It also regulates your nervous system, lymphatic system. Watching what you eat is also very important because all these systems are very connected. Anyways, I digress. You can hold an ice cube to just completely feel the cold in your hand, and it will help you come to your senses and feel your body, because it's painful. It's so cold, it's painful, so this pain kind of helps you come back to this. Sometimes people even consciously, intentionally, because they want to feel something. Not that they want to feel something, they need to come back to this physical. I'm not telling you to do that, not at all, never. Just saying that it's something that people do when they're desperately trying to feel their body. You can just hold an ice cube. Another technique to come back to your senses, to feel your body and to feel yourself present in this reality, is noticing 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can feel, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Just name them. Just breathe in silence and name these things, and you will realize that you are actually here. You are present. Other ways that you can come back to your body is by breathing, meditation, yoga, barefoot walking, tapping, any regulating techniques. Somatic therapy is basically therapy, but more focused on your body. So the therapist works with your physical functions as a way to help you treat PTSD. Mainly PTSD is a treatment for PTSD, I think. So there is treatments for this, and you are not crazy. Nothing is wrong with you. Taking a time every day to just breathe and eat in silence and feeling this food is also very soothing. Process your trauma. PTSD symptoms are responses to trauma. So there was some kind of an event or a long period of time that something was happening, and you need to unpack this trauma. It will help you understand the cause of what is happening with you right now. So you can stop feeding it fear. You can stop being so anxious about it. You can stop feeling like there's something wrong with you, that you're crazy. I had this phase where I thought I was schizophrenic because I couldn't understand why it was happening to me. I couldn't connect the dots that I was so dysregulated after that event or a period of time, because it was actually through my entire childhood that I had an unstable situation. So I couldn't connect the dots and explain this trauma to myself, so I was even more fearful. So go into it and just explain to yourself what happened to you. It will really, really decrease the triggers and flashbacks, because it's also one of the symptoms that I forgot to talk about. Triggers and flashbacks, you constantly get flashbacks from the traumatic event. Just showering and you are reliving a situation. You are reliving a feeling. Really, 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 really scary. Everything was a sign. In a psychotic way, when you're dysregulated, you view everything as some kind of a synchronicity to a very unhealthy extent. Every single little thing. You can't walk past a billboard. You can't walk past a repeated number. You can't even sometimes look at nature because it's so scary. It feels threatening. It's too much. That's the way I gained wisdom. Don't recommend. I really want you to use this video. I really tried my best to provide the most value that I could. Summer 2023, I read this book that my best friend gave me. It was called What Happened to You? This book right here. It touches on dissociation a little bit, but it more helps you with the step of processing trauma, realizing what happened to you. That's why it's called What Happened to You. Incredible book, really helped me. I remember with my dysregulated eyes, with my distorted vision, with all of these sound effects, headaches and ringing ears. It's summer, you know, everything is so vibrant. That's why I'm scared of summer still. I have this little maybe flashback when I look at everything blooming. Everything is so bright and vibrant and happy around me. I have this flashback to that contrasting feeling of being frightened to take a breath because I didn't know what was happening to me. I wish you the fastest, the easiest, the smoothest way out of this. Remember that the only way out is through. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to find a shortcut. There is none. I've tried. It took me personally about a year and a half. And I remember not having a single moment of peace, a single moment of I'm real. These periods when you are okay will start increasing with time. You have to heal. You don't know how much it's going to take. It might take you a month only. I don't know how dysregulated you are, but you are going through this because you need to learn something. So learn the lesson. Don't repeat it. Don't repeat the cycles that brought you into this behavior, that brought you into this trauma. I'm not saying that DPDR is a choice, but you can now consciously decide to improve your actions, improve your decisions, improve your thinking, improve your relationship with yourself so that you can treat yourself with more respect and understanding and provide safety, create this safety. You will really start valuing peace of mind. Peace of mind is the biggest blessing. I wish you peace of mind. Just know that it's not forever. You are not alone in this. There's a lot of people going through this. I'm really trying to come up with as much reassuring words as I can, and they're coming from my heart. But believe me, you will get out of this. Also, I created an email list that just launched yesterday, and more than 70 people already subscribed to it. I'm so excited. I'm going to be curating these emails. They're going to feel like a heartfelt hug from me to you, just to help us all create and evolve and inspire each other. You can suggest anything that you want me to maybe put in there, any inspirational stuff. Any of your healing advice, you can just send it to me through Instagram DMs. I'm going to consider it when I write these emails daily and send it to you. It's also in the description, along with all of the books and YouTube channels that have helped me heal. Just simplify everything. Nothing is that complicated as your mind views it right now, because you are trying to explain things to yourself. You're trying to understand it. Try to understand it rather than understand it. You will come to more peace of mind that way. Okay, we got this. We're in this together.